Most men are sleepwalking through their own story. They move through rooms full of signals they were never taught to read, and they leave convinced nothing was there. They tell themselves they are just not that guy. Not the one women notice. Not the one who turns heads without trying. But here is the truth nobody pulled you aside to share. The men who genuinely captivate women are almost always the ones who have no idea just how much gravity they carry. Because women do not announce attraction. They signal it, quietly, consistently, in a language built from glances and proximity and small, deliberate moments that require a certain kind of attention to catch. This is Wisdom and Lace. I am Grace. And today I am going to walk you through 9 signs that women are genuinely, powerfully attracted to you. Signs that have probably been playing out around you for years while you stood there second-guessing everything. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. And once you understand what has already been working in your favor, you stop accidentally dismantling it. Before we get into the signs, you need to understand something fundamental about how feminine attraction actually moves. A man spots a woman he is drawn to and his instinct is to act, to approach, to close the gap and make something happen. A woman spots a man she is drawn to and her instinct moves in an entirely different direction. She wonders whether he has noticed her. She positions herself. She signals. She constructs small openings and then watches to see whether he is perceptive enough to step through them. She does not announce. She reveals. And if you have spent years waiting for something louder than that, you have been waiting for something that was never going to arrive. The first sign lives in her eyes, and it is the most universal signal most men completely walk past. She does not just glance at you. Her gaze lands and holds, just a fraction of a second longer than casual curiosity would allow. There is a pause there. A pocket of stillness. And then she looks away. And then, almost always, she looks back. Not because she lost track of herself. Because she wants to know whether you caught it. Whether you are going to do something with it. That second look is not an accident. It is an invitation with an expiry date attached. Think about how your own eyes move through a room. You do not linger on things that fail to register. You do not double back to something that held no interest. Every second look is deliberate, even when it does not feel that way. If women are doing this around you, you are already on their radar in a way that matters. The second sign lives in how she uses physical space. A man who carries genuine pull creates a kind of quiet gravity in social environments, and women respond to it by moving closer. She finds a reason to stand near you even when the room offers plenty of other options. She steps into a conversation you are already holding. She moves through your section of the space more often than the layout of the room would ever require. None of that is random. That is positioning. Women do not chase openly. What they do is make themselves available within your orbit and wait for you to close the remaining distance. If you consistently find women gravitating into your physical space, that is not coincidence. That is a response to something real that you are putting into the room. The third sign is in how people orient toward you the moment you begin to speak. Not just women, people. Conversations drop a register when your voice enters them. Bodies turn. Side discussions go quiet. Women who were scanning the far end of the room a moment ago are suddenly watching you. This is the halo effect operating in real time. When a man carries genuine presence, people assign him intelligence, authority, and value before he has technically earned any of it in that particular exchange. His energy communicates something before his words ever do. If rooms are already shifting when you speak, without you demanding they do, you possess something most men exhaust themselves trying to manufacture. You already have it. The only question is whether you are awake enough to carry it deliberately. The fourth sign is when her body begins mirroring yours without either of you making a conscious decision about it. You settle back in your seat and she settles back in hers. Your speech slows and her rhythm adjusts to match yours. You shift your posture and within moments she has quietly shifted hers. She is not deciding to do this. Her nervous system is responding to yours. Mirroring at this depth happens beneath conscious thought entirely. It is the body communicating that it feels safe in your presence, that it wants to stay synchronized with your energy. Attraction always begins this way, in the body, long before logic catches up, before she has even fully named to herself what she is feeling. When a woman mirrors you, she is not performing. She is responding to something she cannot yet articulate. The fifth sign lives in the texture of the compliments she offers. A man who carries real presence rarely hears women commenting on how he looks. What he hears instead is something less specific and far more telling. She says he has an energy she cannot quite put words to. That there is something different about him. That she felt at ease in a way she did not see coming. That he is just easy to be around. What she is communicating is that her read on his appearance happened instantly and automatically, and she has already moved well past it. What she is now responding to operates at a deeper register. Presence. The way he shifts the feeling of a room without appearing to try. Physical appearance gets a man noticed. Presence is what holds a woman's attention long after the first impression has dissolved. When women are reaching for language to describe what draws them to you and finding that the words keep falling short, that is not vagueness. That is the clearest possible signal. The sixth sign is in the glances you collect from across a room without soliciting any of them. Not long stares. Quick, precise looks. Eyes that move toward you the moment you enter a space. Someone who holds contact a half-second past comfortable before finally pulling away. Multiple people whose attention tracks you through a conversation without making it obvious that it is doing so. Presence does not wait for permission before it gets registered. When a man occupies space in a way that naturally draws attention, people notice him before he has given them a single reason to. If you have been on the receiving end of these repeated small glances your whole life without understanding what they meant, here is what they meant. You are being assessed, and the assessment is coming back favorable. Attractive people get watched. That is simply the truth of it. The seventh sign is in how other men respond to you. Women are paying extremely close attention to male social dynamics even when they give no indication that they are. When men naturally defer to your read on a situation, when they introduce you to others as someone genuinely worth knowing, when they seek you out for perspective, women absorb that as evidence of real value. Social proof is a powerful current in attraction. But competition tells the same story from a different angle entirely. When men feel the pull to position themselves against you, when the backhanded comments surface, when the one-upmanship activates the moment women enter the room, that is a hierarchy response. They are reacting to something they sense about where you stand. Either way, whether men are respecting you or quietly competing with you, you are not invisible. You are a variable they are actively calculating around. And women see exactly that. The eighth sign is in the assumptions people begin making about your life before you have given them much to work with. Women grow mildly territorial with you earlier than the situation would logically justify. People assume you must already be with someone. Friends make offhand remarks about how many options you must have. Women find ways to probe whether someone else already holds your attention. You hear things like, "How are you still single?" These assumptions do not emerge from thin air. They emerge from reading your energy. A man who does not chase validation, who does not need the room to confirm his worth, who moves through social spaces from quiet sufficiency rather than quiet desperation, carries something women instinctively read as abundance. And women are drawn to men who are already chosen. Not because they are shallow. Because desire recognizes desire. The ninth sign is the one running beneath all the others, and it is the one most men never become conscious of at all. Women remember you after minimal interaction. You have a brief exchange and days later she references something specific you said. She recalls details about you that you did not consider significant enough to retain yourself. She mentions you in conversations with other people. That kind of retention does not happen by accident. The mind holds what made a real impression. If women are carrying you with them after short encounters, if you are occupying space in their thoughts without having done anything dramatic to put yourself there, something about your presence lodged itself somewhere uninvited and simply refused to leave. That is not ordinary. That is the mark of a man whose energy does not fade when he walks out of the room. If even 3 or 4 of these signs feel familiar, you have been operating at a level of genuine attractiveness that you have never properly credited yourself for. The obstacle was never your looks. Never your circumstances. It was simply that nobody ever sat you down and translated the language women actually use when something real is being felt. Now you have the translation. Stop waiting to be told directly. Start reading what has already been shown to you all along. I am grace. This is wisdom and lace. If something in this landed for you today, share it with a man who has been doubting himself longer than he deserves to. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me which sign caught you most off guard. I read every single one. I will see you in the next one.